Hi, in this video blog I wanted to talk to you about attitude. I wanted to talk to you about the winning traits of all the great people that I've met, some of the most amazing, unbelievable people that I've worked with. And I've worked with hundreds of people, regardless of their background, regardless of trauma, regardless of what's happened to them in their life. What I started to notice a few years into retreat is that there were these kind of fundamental attitude adjustments or personality traits that all superstars on our retreat had, regardless of what had happened to them in the past. And if you look at all the great people in the world, maybe you can hold some of the people that you love and admire, maybe mentors that you have. If you think about the qualities of these people, they all have these traits, and they're not limited to these traits, but these are my favorite traits that great people have. So let's run through them. Responsibility. Our ability to grow in life and as a person and really to succeed, to be able to keep moving onto different levels of achieving and service really comes down to our ability to take responsibility, to not balk at this ability to pull yourself up, to be self-aware and to look at your own behavior and go, hey, maybe there's something I can do better. Maybe I don't like the way that I did that or said that. Maybe I can respond, use my ability to respond differently. So responsibility, I think, is a bit of a dirty word. When we're children, we're told to be more responsible, especially when we're becoming young adults. It's all about responsibility. So we kind of feel that this word is a heavy word or involves work. And being responsible in terms of your own personal growth, it does take work for sure. And it takes a little bit of discomfort to kind of move through what we don't like about ourselves and take it by the horns and go, hey, okay, the way that I react, the way that I behave, maybe I can transform that by owning it, having ownership 100% over what it is that I don't like about myself or what it is other people are reflecting back to me that they find difficult to deal with. But as soon as we harness that ability, we have growth, we have movement, we have space, and the ability to change and grow and move forward comes from having that foundation. If you think about the people that live with regret, have maybe gotten to the end of their life and live with regret, this is one thing that they've missed, is this ability to really be responsible for ourselves. The next thing that I wanted to mention is choice. So many people that I know, so many people that I've coached, forget always that we are armed with choice. We are armed with choice in the way that we think. We are armed with choice in the actions and the choices that we can take or we can make. And I think we forget this a lot. We tend to build little walls and ceilings about what we can and can't have in life, forgetting that we're always armed with choice. We are always armed with the choice to be able to think and look for different solutions. We're always armed with choice when it comes to how we perceive or work with our inner world and our thoughts and what we tell ourselves. We can choose to buy into different thoughts and stories or not. We can choose whatever it is that we want to have available to us in our life simply by reminding ourselves that I can choose versus playing small or I can't. So the next thing that I wanted to mention is gratitude. Gratitude is the source of all joy. And I've worked with a lot of people that have had pretty traumatic pasts and yet remain so grateful for the air that they breathe, the food, the roof over their head, just the small things, really appreciative. I think maybe that's more the word, just appreciative of life and the small things, regardless of what's happened to them. And it really becomes the source of our joy when we take the time to look around and think, wow, I'm so lucky to be in this body. Wow, I'm so lucky to be a part of this life. Even if we don't feel it wholeheartedly, just reminding ourselves every day to make gratitude a part of our attitude towards life. Positive self-talk versus beating up on yourself. This is also a choice. And it requires us to be responsible for the way that we talk to ourselves. Sometimes a lot of us are not actually very clear on the way that we talk to ourselves, or we're not very aware on the way that we talk to ourselves. And again, it's a practice in the same way that gratitude is. These are practices, they're habits that if we practice them every day, they eventually just become a part of everyday life. But how we talk to ourselves, whether we acknowledge our strengths and achievements, whether we remind ourselves that it's okay rather than kind of turning on that doom and gloom radio switch, whether we beat up on ourselves and tell ourselves that we can only do this and only do that, and because I'm this and because I'm that, or whether we just learn the art of speaking to ourselves more kindly, which brings me to the next point of kindness towards yourself and others. So giving without expecting anything in return, being generous. When I do values with clients, a lot of people have this as their core value system, as an important part of their core value system of just being a kind person. And we're kind of living in this world now where nobody does anything without getting something in return. There always has to be a payoff. There has to be a dollar value attached to everything, and it's really unhealthy. And just this ability to be kind to our neighbors, kind to ourselves, being generous, being there for people, and just offering a smile. It can be as simple as just offering a very, very simple smile, reaching out to someone in need. Just this ability to be kind without needing or having the expectation to get something back from that behavior. And flexibility. Really, the way I look at flexibility is always looking for solutions, having this ability to think on your feet, having this ability to not stay down for very long if life kind of knocks you, to be able to be flexible and always use solutions-based thinking. Obviously, in life, there's always going to be moments where we're kind of knocked, and the people that get back up faster and turn those lemons into fruits tend to be the people that are a little bit more flexible. They just have this attitude towards life where they're understanding of the fact that there could be something greater at play, that there's always a lesson, there's always an opportunity, even in the most dire circumstances. And this ability to be flexible comes also down to less judgment on others, not controlling and wanting people to be a certain way and wanting situations to be a certain way, but having this ability to kind of have a flexible, open-minded approach. The attitude of always doing your best. Your best will be different on any given day, depending on the energy that you have, which requires you to listen in to your body and what it is that you have to give every day, but always doing your best. I don't care if you're cleaning toilets for a living, doing it with service, and doing it with a lightheartedness, and doing it with your best, just giving everything your best, because no one can ask for more than that. So it's checking in with yourself and asking whether, the way that you parent, the way that you work, the way that you are as a friend, if you're doing your best. And like I said, you can't do your best, or your best will change every day, depending on what it is that you have to give. Know your worth and know you are worthy. The people that I know excel, they know their own worth. They know what their skills are. They know that they're worthy of having all of what is available to us in this world, because there is enough of everything. I don't care what you're after, more money, more time, more food, more abundance, more prosperity, no matter what it is, everyone is worthy. No one was born and told you can have this and you can't have that based on where, it doesn't matter where you were born, doesn't matter what kind of situation you were born into. There is no universal law that says some people can have more and some people can have less. It simply comes down to this attitude of I am worthy. I am worthy of an abundance of all of the things that are available to every human being on this planet. Vulnerability. I wanted to end on this because without it, being vulnerable, being open, we can't have creativity, we can't have change, we can't have innovation, and most importantly, courage. The courage to live life on our own terms, the courage to kind of walk forward through this world and do what it is that we really want to do is always going to require being vulnerable with our fears and being vulnerable about what scares us and choosing to confront it anyway, choosing to allow discomfort, choosing to hold ourselves kindly as we kind of feel a little bit naked sometimes, but moving through that discomfort so that we can have the change, the innovation, the creativity, and the courage that we're actually seeking comes from how it is the integrity that we have when we approach difficult situations and willing to be open and vulnerable, which comes back to responsibility. If we want the growth, we have to be able to have this ability to take responsibility for ourselves and be willing to be open and vulnerable with how we are sometimes. So I hope this has been helpful. What I would love you to do just from listening to this very short blog is to be able to take one of those things and choose to focus on it for the next day, the next week, the next month. Responsibility, choice, gratitude, positive self-talk, flexibility, kindness, always do your best, knowing your worth, and vulnerability. You can choose one thing that you think that it's an attitude that you'd like to bring into your being, into your person. So I hope it's been helpful. Have a great day.